So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a customer supplied file to see some of the things that she was hoping to do. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the things that she wanted to do. So let's look at this file and talk about where there's some issues. So the first thing that caught my eye when I opened the file was this little prime tower. It has 3 colors. Shouldn't have 3 colors because we only have a black and white image. Now when I look at this image, you could see over here in the Objects tab that it's just one piece. And that's problematic for what we wanted to do. So if we right click, you can see the split is not an option. So we cannot split this apart. What she was looking to do is, instead of having this raised, she was looking to print this flat, face down, so you get a nicer print and it's nice and smooth. And we're not going to be able to do that because of the way the file was made. It's problematic. Now, she did tell me that the individual that was making the files for her is not a printer. So he doesn't do 3D printing, so maybe doesn't understand 3D printing. And that's problematic because, the file is not right. So if we look at the file more closely, one thing that really catches my eye is this warning message. Warning, warning. We have almost 1.8 million triangles for a little can opener. Okay, that's not good. We should not have 1.8 million triangles for a can opener. So whatever design software is being used, I don't think it's meant for 3D printing. So yeah, it's complicated. The other thing is this big giant loop at top is not preferred because the more that sticks out, the easier that's going to be to break off. And I think that would break off pretty easily. Another thing here is the slot. This slot is 3 millimeters off the bed. So this is a pretty big block in the 3D printing world. That's a so your soda tab has to go underneath that. So that's really thick. This should not be that thick. It would be hard to get that underneath a soda tab. So it kind of almost defeats the purpose of what you're trying. Could you do it? Yes, you could do it. It's just really not preferred to have it that deep. Also, this is really, really wide for a soda tab. Your soda tabs are about 16 millimeters, and this is almost 25 millimeters. Also, it doesn't need to be this thick. Also, this whole thing is massive. I mean, to me, that's pretty massive. Okay, so it's thick, it's got sharp edges, it's got issues. So, I would recommend just recreating the whole thing. But luckily, you're fixing to get some mad skills, and I'm going to show you how to do it very, very quickly, very easily. So what I did is I just moved the design off the build plate here. So I have this kind of white background. It's black and white. So I went ahead and just saved a screenshot. I do this all the time. Save the screenshot, pop over here in the Inkscape, and let's go ahead and whip this thing up real quick. So Control I will pull in our little screenshot. If I can find it here. There it is. Okay, so there's our screenshot. We're going to right click and choose Trace Bitmap, and then we're going to adjust this threshold slider. Let's just do it right there. Okay, and hit apply and take a look. Okay, this isn't bad quality. Surprisingly, that's pretty good, actually. We'll run with it. We'll run with it. I'm going to double click on it just to see if I see anything alarming, which I don't. So we're good to go. All right, so there's that. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate it. Control D. Come over here to our layer stack. We want to go to the bottom one, give it a different color. Come over here to Path Effects and give it an offset path effect. Now we never really know how much, but we start with either 6 or 8. We'll do 6. look at it. Is that good? It's good. Let's go to path, object to path. Okay. Now you see up here, it's kind of rigidy and raggedy. So we'll just double click and we'll make it nice and straight. The bottom we're going to fix up later, so I'm not going to worry about the bottom right now. So this green piece, we're going to go to path, object to path, path, break apart. You see all these open areas? That'll get rid of that. And then path, union. Now we just have one big green piece. But we do have to fix up here at the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to double click. And right there, we'll go right up to that point there. Delete that. Okay, so now you can see we've kind of cleaned up our bottom here a little bit. So that looks good. Now we do have one sharp corner. So let's go ahead and fix that. We'll go to corners. Okay, and then we'll get this right here. We can just, let's see, is there any other concerns? Nope, I think we're good there. No other concerns. So let's go ahead and now when we apply a corner, any path effect, we have to set it. Path, object to path. Okay? So now that we've done that, now we can go ahead and save this and we'll call it can test. Back into Bamboo. Okay, so we'll go back into Bamboo here. Let's go ahead and just delete this one because we're not going to use it anyhow. So Control I to import can test on the desktop. There's can test. Okay, now it's big, 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 big. So we need to go ahead and resize it to our finished size, which in our case is going to be 65. Now we do want uniform scale selected. Okay. And then we're going to alt click on our backplate. Go to scale. We won't do uniform scale. And we'll just choose 6. 6 millimeters is plenty. Now we'll go to our logo. We're going to change our logo to black. So we just hit the 2 key on our keyboard because, and we are not going to use PETG, I don't think. I don't know if she was doing that because it wasn't printing very good. I'm not sure why she was using PETG, but we'll go back to PLL Basic. And so for the thickness here of our logo, we're going to do 1 millimeter. And then for the positioning, this is the way the Z works. We're doing flat down printing. So we need the face of our logo to be on the face of our backplate. Our backplate is 6, our logo is 1. Half of 1 is 0.5. So we subtract that from our plate, which is 5.5. Make sense? I hope so. All right, so there you go. That's taken care of. Let's go ahead and right click and center it to our build plate. Let's go ahead and bring in our key tag. So I just hit Control I, go to the desktop, and pull in my key tag. This key tag is available on my free Patreon. So all that information is in the video description as well. Where to get to Patreon. Where to get to our Facebook group. Okay, now this key tag, we only want it sticking out far enough for our jump ring, for our keychain hardware. So we're going to hit Control 1 and look straight down. And I usually go about midway, something like that. That's plenty of room for our key tag. All right, so now we have to insert our can operator. So let's go ahead and do that. So on the desktop, we'll search for can. There it is. So we'll go ahead and select it, click OK. There it is. So we're just going to drag it out. We want it to just peep out. So you see right now it's not peeping. Right there it's peeping. Just peep out, just barely. Okay, now this is a negative piece. So what that means is when I slice it, it's going to cut a hole. But it didn't cut the hole because it's not out far enough, probably. So we're going to alt click that and just slide it out just a little bit more. All right. Oh, you know why it didn't cut a hole? Not because it wasn't slid out far enough. This is not attached to our assembly. So we're going to select this, Shift Control the assembly, right click and merge. Now you can see it doesn't allow us to do that here, but that's fine. So we have our assembly here, and there's our can opener down here. So we have our can opener assembly and our can test assembly. Now we can right click and merge. And now when we slice our plate, now it's saying there's some conflicts and some floating cantilevers. That's fine. So what we're going to do here is flip this around, and what it's saying is this is a conflict because this is not connected to the assembly. So we select that, shift control the assembly, merge these two together, and now what we'll do is we'll flip this over. So let's go ahead and flip this over. So we'll go lay on face, boom. So now it's flipped upside down like it should be. Now there are some specific settings that we use for our can openers. So let's go ahead and do those specific settings. So we'll select our part here, and we're going to start here in supports. We're going to enable supports on the build plate only the critical areas. And then we're going to scroll down here to the top Z distance of 0.28. And then we'll do interface layers of 4. Then on the speed side of things, we are going to come down to the bridge and put that at 15. That'll slow that bridge way down. On the strength tab, we'll do 4 wall loops. I just prefer 4, and it doesn't take much extra time. The top shell thickness, we'll go ahead and make that 2. And then the bottom shell thickness, we'll make that 2. Okay, and then on the quality side, we can just leave it the way it is. But you can see here we have the object selected, so we can't change the one setting that we might want to change, and that's over on global. Okay, so when we come down here on the global side of things, we'll go back to the quality tab, and the one thing we might want to change and experiment with is that initial layer. You can see it says it's 0.5 of a millimeter. You could leave it like that and print it out, or we could go ahead and do 0.25 and just see if we like that print better or not. Okay. And the only other thing that we might want to do, but I don't think it really matters, this is going to require a little bit of support, so I'll just leave it like that. Now let's go ahead and slice it. You see now we get a slice okay. Everything looks good. Everything's going to print properly. Face down printing. We're supporting our little key tab there. And that's it. So you can see doing it correctly doesn't take a lot of time. But notice this too. When we select it, look at here. We only have 8,300 triangles versus 1.8 million. So, yeah. We are ready to go here. Looking good. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit understanding can openers just a little bit more. And unfortunately, with her particular setup, the way the files were created, we will not be able to do face down printing without really recreating all the files. And then we could do face down printing. But the good news is with this setup, if we did want our logo raised, then all we have to do is go to our Objects tab. Because these are separate pieces, now we can recolor this to make it whatever color we want, but we can also set this up. So we'll just move it up to 6.5, and now we can have our logo printing on top of our back plate if that's how we want it. See, so much better to create files like this where we have individual parts so we can do exactly the things that we might want to do down the road. So we'll put that back to 5.5, and then we'll flip it back over for face down printing. So that's it for this one, guys. One quick note, we do have our Facebook group, and we encourage you to ask your questions over there so we can make these video tutorials and show you different things that you're struggling with. So all that information is in the video description below. Also on Patreon, we have a free Patreon, and we have different paid tier groups as well. But one thing I really wanted to encourage you to sign up for Patreon for, at least the free one, is notifications of our live training classes, which we do every Monday, 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you have questions or struggling with a particular design or just want to see something, just send us an email, make a comment in the Facebook group, make a comment on our Patreon, and we'll do our best to answer those questions for you. All right? So until next time, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need one-on-one training or some custom files made for you, this is my contact information, so feel free to reach out via email. You can text me. You could even give me a call. I'd be happy to answer questions or give you more details on the one-on-one training we offer, and as well as if you need custom files made until you are up to speed on how to make them yourself, feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help you with that as well.